Don't touch me! Okay, all right.
Hey, move on. Move on.
I'm not moving on.
Why you can't record?
You want to go to jail?
For what?
Obstructing? I told you to move
obstructing
on.
anything.
I told you to move on. You need to move on.
Why do I need to move on?
1,
Why do I need to move on?
2, 3. Let's go.
Why you can't record?
Yeah, move. Recording is not obstructing.
I'm giving you a lawful order,
lawful order
to
for
move
what?
on. I'm giving you a lawful order
I'm in
to
public.
move
I'm not
on.
doing anything.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You want to go to jail tonight?
For what?
Obstructing. I told you
Obstructing
dumb
what?
ass to move.
For what?
We're doing an investigation. Somebody's in a
You
fight.
can do an investigation all day long.
Do you live here? Are you an idiot?
No, I'm not. Are you an idiot? Do you
Are you
live
serious?
here?
I
Yeah.
live here. I do live here.
Yeah.
You want to go to jail?
For what?
Obstruct.
I'm not
Let's go.
obstructing anything.
Let's go.
What that, dude? You stop.
Stop.
I'm not doing
You need to
anything.
stop right
Stop
now.
doing what?
He was just recording. That's not fair. Get off of him. Get off of him. That is so grimy. He was just recording. That's not okay. He did not do nothing to the officer. I gotta do it here. You gotta do it. We gotta do it. I got a good lawyer.
So this poor guy is in downtown Fremont Street in Las Vegas, Nevada, when he sees somebody getting arrested. Couple people start watching. He's one of them. He pulls out his camera. Now again, he's not alone. There's other people there. But this police officer singles him out above all others. Have to think it's probably because he has a camera. And he tells him he has to move along. But this man knows his constitutional rights. He knows he has a right to record police officers in public performing their official duties. He's even able to clearly articulate those rights to this officer. This man was then thrown into the street, tackled, and arrested. He has a sprained elbow and bruised ribs. Get this. He was arrested for unlawfully being in the street and for obstruction. They threw him into the street, and then they arrest him for unlawfully being in the street. And of course, the obstruction. Now, the obstruction is very interesting because if a police officer gives you a lawful order, you must follow it. And if you do not follow it, you're obstructing, and you can be arrested. And it's a serious charge. And it's one of those charges that when you get pulled over later for a minor traffic violation, the officer looks at your stuff and says, oh wow, he's been convicted of obstructing. And they will treat you differently for the rest of your life. So it's pretty serious. The statute says lawful order. If an order is unconstitutional, it is not lawful. What a concept! Mind blown. So, I get it. Police officers don't like to be recorded. I don't blame them. I don't want to be recorded all the time either. But if you're a police officer, you're given a lot of authority. Police officers are the most powerful members of the criminal justice system. Think about it. Police officers can not only arrest you, they can take your life. We give them a gun and we put them in very dangerous situations. And if they fear for their life, they're allowed to kill people. They don't get criminally charged for killing people in those situations. Heck, when they put themselves in the extremely dangerous situations and they escalate the situation and then they fear for their lives, they're still allowed to kill people. That's pretty clear. Pretty clear with history. We even give them the coolest guns AR-15s, tactical shotguns, not to mention pretty awesome handguns. So they get all the latest technology, they get the coolest guns, and then they're allowed to kill people if they fear for their life. If you're given that much power, then if you're in public performing your official duties, as a check on that power, the Constitution allows us to film. If you can't deal with that, maybe you should be doing something else. You know, you need a little more chill, right? It's not just about the guns. It's about the integrity of the criminal justice system. Because there's a lot of great police officers out there, but some of them don't tell the truth, especially when they make a mistake. I'll be very interested to read this police report and see what the officer actually writes down, because we have it on film. But occasionally, a police officer will say a little fib. And occasionally, because police officers are human, a police officer will lose their cool and maybe push the boundaries or abuse their power. Filming police is vital as a check against human nature. A check against those police officers that lose their cool. Now, this subject is very dear to me. I was arrested. I was arrested and falsely accused. I was standing by my client, a member of the Bikers for Christ, when police officers showed up in tactical gear with their big fancy guns and ordered me to leave my client's side specifically so that they could ask him questions without me there. I refused, and I was arrested for, guess what? Obstruction. I thought, hey, no big deal. I didn't do anything wrong. Then I read the police report, and my stomach dropped. Because there were things in that police report that were not true. Thankfully, someone got out their cell phone and videotaped it. That video exonerated me. That video showed that the police report was not true. I'm so grateful for this right to film police officers. Do it politely, do it safely, but please film police officers. It's for the greater good. It's a check on the system, and it just makes sense. Let me break down the law for you. Not just the law, but the history of the law. Because in 1995, the right to film police started to become clear with a Ninth Circuit case, Fortis v. City of Seattle. In that case, the court clearly established that a citizen has the right to film matters of public interest. That's very general, but that's what they said. It became even more clear in the year 2000 in the 11th Circuit, in a case called Smith v. City of Cummins. Now, in that case, the court ruled that the First Amendment protects the right of citizens to film police. After that, 9 and 10 years later, the Fourth Circuit and the Third Circuit dealt with outlying issues and kind of danced around the subject. Then finally, in 2011, we got a crystal clear ruling from the First Circuit Court of Appeals in Glick v. Cuniff. And they specifically said, private citizens have the right to film officers performing their official duties in a public place. Now notice, I've only given you circuit court opinions. I would love to have given you a United States Supreme Court opinion. Of course, that would establish the highest law in the land. However, we don't have one yet. All we have are these circuits, and this is how the circuits have ruled. Now, there's a few cases, one in particular in Pennsylvania, where a federal court judge, that's the lowest level of federal court, has ruled that citizens don't have a right to film police. That is not controlling law because it's so low. Now, the ACLU has appealed that. We'll see what happens. But so far, we have 3 circuits who have very distinctly and clearly established the right to film police. And that's the controlling law, and that's what we need to deal with. I plead with you. Be careful out there. Know your rights before you invoke them. This can be a very dangerous and serious game. If you are wrong and you obstruct the police because you were wrong, you can get a criminal record that will live with you for a long time. It's not a joke. You have to do more than just watch a YouTube video. You need to know these areas of the law well enough so that you can clearly articulate them. And then politely and safely make your case when something happens. If the police are wrong, which they sometimes are, we can deal with that. We can deal with it. Okay. But what we can't deal with are people who think they know they're right, but they're not because they didn't really do their homework enough. So get good information, learn it, know it well enough to articulate it, be polite, be happy, and be safe. And God bless.